Hey, this is Sam from Cheam, and you're listening to Breakdowns for Breakfast.
Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Breakdowns for Breakfast. I'm your host, Danger, and joining me is a fellow that I cannot properly break down an album without your co-host, Monster. Say hi, Monster.
Hello. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you? Even though I just, whatever.
Yes, I am doing very well, and you may have noticed that I am not wearing anything.
Yeah, normally it's okay if you're, naked from the waist down because I can't see that, but I obviously see that you're not wearing a shirt.
No, and that is because I have started this new skincare routine. I have found this new ointment that is doing wonders for my skin, and I have gone from rashes to nude.
Mm-hmm. From rashes to nude.
And you get the benefit of being able to see it. Our listeners at home won't get the full effect, but hopefully they can just hear the nudity as the podcast goes.
It wouldn't be so bad if your nipples were the same size.
Not even the same color.
Nope, not at all. Anyway, on this episode of Breakdowns for Breakfast, we are here to talk about the album Blackout from the band From Ashes to New, released July 28th, 2023. Now, Monster, I felt like, in listening to this, that this was, before I said that we should do this album, I was like, this is going to be one that Monster is going to love. Now, I have a reason for why I want to talk about this, but where are you on From Ashes to New?
Let me go ahead and preface this entire conversation with, it's not you, it's me. It's not From Ashes to New. You're not the problem. It's me. Because I can straight up say, I should like this way more than I actually do.
Yeah, I thought you would.
I think it's fine. There's a lot of stuff I like, but there's a lot of stuff I don't like. And I will get into that as we go, because this, I was struggling to find the right terminology for it, because this is not nu metal. It's about as close, like we talk about butt rock and nu metal being cheek to cheek. This is like the tiny little hairs that are touching both cheeks. Like, this is so close. You've got the rap rock. It should be a no-brainer. But there's something about the way this is produced, the songwriting. It's very clean. It's very safe. And it's good. I like it. But there's something there that keeps me from loving it. And I've got a couple things that I think are the main culprits, but I'll let you kind of give your opening opinion first.
Okay, so we have talked plenty about how it is very obvious that the nu metal sound is creeping into the metalcore world. Mm-hmm. And like you said, butt rock and nu metal are cheek to cheek. Well, I think we are getting to a point to where there's a third cheek on their butt, and that cheek is called nucore. I don't know. So I do think that this is that this is more of nu metal, but I think that this is a new generation of nu metal. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about it, because, I have seen clips and stuff. I've seen them perform live, and they look like they're a ton of fun live. I would really enjoy seeing them live.
I have seen them live, and they are a good live band. The iteration I saw, these guys have gone, one of the reasons they're much like a metalcore band is because they've had 16 different band members. But yeah, the iteration I saw was a lot of fun. A matter of fact, I mean, I wasn't really thinking about this at the time, but looking back on it, I might have been ripping off their guitar player for a while. And I didn't realize I was doing that until I was like, oh, yeah, he also used to wear, like, ninja masks and capes and shit on stage. I was like, oops.
I don't think that the guitar player from Ashes to... I don't know, when you start your band name with the word from... It's
that is tricky.
Yeah. So anyway, I do think that this is a new generation of new. And I think we're actually seeing where... I think this is really the first band that we have seen that fully embraces the nu metal more than the metalcore, because we definitely have some of the metalcore breakdowns and things all throughout this, but I am 100% with you. I like this, but I didn't love anything here. I have positive and negative things to say about pretty much every track on this album in a way that I haven't really in the past, where I kind of had a fondness for the analytical side of of listening to this album. Mm-hmm. And the thing is that there were certain parts of this album where I was like, oh, this is cool and this is different. And now we're doing this. Okay. Why are we doing that? Why did we make that choice there? And so I kind of went into this with on this show, it's not, out of the ordinary to be analytical about an album because that's what we do. But I kind of had a different ear on this one. And, while I had fun with this one, I didn't love this one. I didn't hate this one by any means, but it was just kind of an interesting thing. And did you watch any videos for this?
I watched every music video from this album.
Okay. I think I watched two, maybe one, maybe two.
One of the videos kind of won me over on one of the songs. One of the songs I was kind of iffy on, and then I watched the video and I was like, I'm getting a lot of like personality and vibe from these dudes, and this makes me like this song a lot more.
So I think the issue that I had in watching, live performances and music video, I'm just going to go with A because I don't know if I watched two, but anyway, yeah. I know I watched one for sure, but I think I don't know. It made me feel old because they look like children, and it's not their fault. I mean, these guys are all, early 30s or late 20s, early 30s, and fine. But as a 40-year-old man, it's like, do you need a pacifier?
Especially like the clean vocalist, like he is so like clean and smooth skinned. Like, I mean, he looks like a model,
Yeah. And I don't know if this is something in me. I don't know, but I don't know if you are a ginger and a singer in a band like this, it just doesn't work for me.
Well,
it doesn't. And he's obviously talented. They're all talented at what they do, but it was just weird.
Yeah, so I'm going to have a real hard time. I'm going to be talking in circles a lot because I'm literally going to be talking about we have Linkin Park at home and telling you why I don't like it, which that's not me. Like, come on. Like, this should be, like, I should love this. And it's just.
You should.
But okay, so here are the two things that I picked up on listening to this that I think kept me in the like category from going to the love category. Number one is this production. I'm so sick and tired of this symphonic, overproduced beepy boopy stuff. Every single band sounds like this now. And it's so hard. Yes, okay, so From Ashes to New does some rapping. A lot of these other bands don't do that. But they all have the same production style, so it all just starts to sound the same. They all fill the same sonic space. And it's sort of like, I'm not saying I want it raw. I don't, like I talk about that mid to late 90s Ross Robinson stuff. I'm not saying I want them to sound like that. Sound big, sound full. But again, not every single frequency needs a string or a synth or a wave sound or atmosphere. Like, just rock. You're a rock band. Play rock music. It doesn't need the like orchestral soundscape at all times,
Yeah. So I do want to say that I found a list of not only what like music genres are in the music here, and then also what influences they have. And I thought the influences were kind of funny.
The fact that the influences start with Bone Thugs and Harmony was like, come on, like seriously.
Right, so we'll do influences first. I was going to do what's in there, but okay. So Bone Thugs and Harmony, Korn, Linkin Park, Skrillex, Seven Dust, Breaking Benjamin, Eminem, DMX, Drag-On, which I've never heard of Drag-On, actually. I've heard of the rest of these, but not Drag-On. Pantera, Glassjaw, Alexis on Fire, Alice in Chains, Of Mice and Men, and Papa Roach. Now, I didn't hear any Alice in Chains in here.
Not really.
There were a few songs that dragged on, but I didn't. I think I heard probably more of the front half of all of those. And maybe Papa Roach.
I hear a ton of Breaking Benjamin and Papa Roach, but The difference with those, in my opinion, at least, is Papa Roach, and I have Ego Trip is kind of where I fell off with them, and that album is probably pushing 10 years old at this point. And they've released at least one more since then, I think. They don't get as overblown produced as this. Like, I feel like they do have a lot of modern production because every band does, but it's not quite as full of production like this is. And then with Breaking Benjamin, I know a lot of people don't really like where they are now. I am a big defender of those first two Breaking Benjamin albums. I think those two are fantastic, but his voice is super unique. Nobody sounds like him singing. So at least in those two cases, they have some things that sort of separate them from the park. Plus, not to mention, Papa Roach started off as just a straight up unapologetic nu metal band. Like, it was like straight up.
Okay, and I'm sorry, what album was it said you fell off of?
Ego Trip was the last one that I listened to from start to finish multiple times.
Okay, so Ego Trip is the last album that they actually have listed
Okay.
they put out, and that was in 2022.
2022. Okay, so not quite as long ago as I thought it was, but
no.
But there's some serious.
It's quite the opposite from what we've experienced more often than not.
That's why I guessed it was that long ago, because I just assumed.
4 days, 7 years, who knows?
It's all the same.
So, okay. So within this album, they have it's been described as rap metal, nu metal, rap rock, and alternative metal, but they have elements of alternative rock, punk rock, hard rock, heavy metal, hip hop, electronic core, and electronica, which I don't know the difference between electronic core and electronica, but
because everybody wants to put core at the end of everything. I saw somebody describe this as Linkin Park core, and I was like, all right, like, we're getting pretty in the weeds here, aren't we?
Yeah. So there was a part of me that wanted to, a part of me that wanted to like this more, but then I realized something, that this band knows exactly what they are, and they do not leave that. Like, some of those things that are in there, I didn't hear, alternative rock in there. There was no moments of, I don't recall any moments of an alternative rock sound. It was all very, rap rock, little touches of punk rock here or there, whatever. But they are who they are, and they put out several albums of this sound, and fine. But I just thought it was interesting looking and listening, looking at the band and listening to this album and just going, this is what nu metal is now. But you're right.
It's not.
No. This is a new generation of nu metal. I think this is the sound that we're going to get out of nu metal going forward.
No, this is the sound out of bands that want to be safe and radio friendly and call themselves nu metal. This is octane core nu metal. Yes. Because you do have new bands like Tala, and there's a bunch more. And then there's also the bands like we've talked about before that are doing sort of the new core thing. But you've got bands like Islander and Silly Goose and Black Gold. I mean, I can go on and on, that are very much in the vein of rap and rock and mixing electronics and stuff, but they don't sound like this. They still have that raw energy that's the thing. Like, I don't know any other way to say it, because if you think about the lyrics on this album, there's some pretty dark shit. There's several songs where he talks about killing himself. Like, there's a lot of dark stuff going on, but somehow this still feels safe. Like, this does,
you're right.
Yeah, like, this is almost like a sanitized version of a more aggressive rap metal band, if that makes any sense. It almost seems like this should be a Christian band. Like, I don't know that makes any sense. And maybe it's because I saw them open for Skillet, so it just sort of like,
Yeah, I think that's tainted it, because I think they dropped too many F-bombs.
No. Obviously. Not lyrically. I meant more like musically. Like, there's something about the way this is produced with that real clean, sanitized feel. And the second thing that I was going to mention too, talking about the production and all the different styles, the drummer on this album, I think, is a badass rock drummer, but he doesn't have that swing and bounce and groove that you're going to get with like a John Otto or, Ray from Korn. Like and I think that's part of the reason that I'm kind of like, I'm not engaging with this as much, is because there's some parts where they lock in and it does bounce and it's got a cool riff and I'm into that. But then there's a lot of parts that just feel like a standard rock beat. And it's like, I lose it there,
Okay, so I am going to 100% agree with where you've said it's very safe. And the thing about it is that, yes, I do think that drummer is a badass drummer, but I think that's a badass drummer that wants to be safe and doesn't want to step too far outside of what he knows, what he's heard, and doesn't want to develop his own personality within the drums. And every great drummer has a drumming style, and I don't think he's got a drumming style. I think he has I think his style is the song. It's what fits the song. That's it.
Yeah. And
it works. It works. I'm not talking bad about him. I mean, obviously it's they've had good success with, everything. I guess Blackout and on, they've, really hit their stride, but yeah, it's very safe. You're right.
Yeah. And, I'm thinking about like Brad Delson with Linkin Park, especially on those first couple albums, he never did anything super flashy. He mostly just kind of stayed in the pocket with whatever like Mr. Hahn and Mike Shinoda did with the beats and, kind of just locked into that. So I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with what he's playing. I think he's good. In fact, and again, like I said, I'm going to talk in circles all night long here. Every one of them's good. Like, I love the guy that sings. I think the rapper has some cool, he's got a couple moments that I don't love, but overall I like him too. I think the guitars are good. Like, everybody in this band is talented, and it's just the songs that they're writing here just feel, like we keep saying, it just feels safe. For better or for worse, at no point did I think some wacky, weird, dissonant thing, like there was never going to be a Wes Borland riff. You know what I mean? Like, you were never going to get something like that at any point. And a matter of fact, this isn't a knock on them as much as it's a knock on how much damn music I consume. There was one song the first time through, I remember saying out loud after the song before it ended, I said, I know how this next one's going to start. And by golly, it did, because it was like, I know what this is. Like, this is formulaic to an extent,
Mm-hmm. No. Okay. So I did want to, bring up this part before we kind of jump into the band members and the track listing and all. So I thought there was something kind of interesting in this, and I had to make sure I paid attention to this to kind of, narrow it down, because I had an idea about it. So we've talked plenty of times about how, when bands write an album, they'll write, 30 songs and 15 of those will make it onto the album, or however many. Now, we've run into where we get over and over again where albums feel just like a collection of singles. Like, they wrote every song to be a single. And then when we go further back in time, and by further back, oh God, it makes me feel so old. Say the 90s, you had full albums. You had them written as albums. Mm-hmm. What I feel like happened here is they wrote a bunch of songs and then found the album within those songs. So I don't feel like they wrote an album, but I feel like they picked the best songs for the album and tried to put them into an order that makes sense, because there's not really a lot of track switching that I would do within this. And I do feel like it does have somewhat of a flow to it.
There's a little bit of a lull at one point for me where I sort of get like, it's like, oh yeah, this is this song. Like, but I think it starts strong and I think it ends strong. I mean, hell, the last song on the album might be my favorite song. Like, I mean, it's kind of an outlier. It sounds a little bit different than most of the rest of the record.
And it's really funny you mentioned that, and we'll talk about it more when we get there, of course. Yeah. But the last song of the album, I was quite fatigued listening to this straight through, that I found that I didn't like the last song as much as I did when I listened to it on shuffle. Well, I did actually do a shuffle listen on this one, which was interesting.
Yeah. Well, so for me, it's sort of like, again, sort of being able to predict what the songs are going to be before we get to them. I sort of had an idea of what the last song was going to be. And this time I was surprised, because it was like, oh, that's actually not where I thought you were going to go with this. And I appreciated that. Yeah, it's honestly, if I had to boil it down to one thing more than anything, it's the production. I mean, honestly, the more that I think about it, the more that it's like, I like the riffs, I like the vocals. There's a couple moments with the lyrics that I kind of get a little cringe on.
I got some lyrical notes.
But overall, the music, the guitar, bass, drums, and vocals, I enjoy much more than I dislike. But then when it's like every song has to be colored with all the beeps and boops and atmosphere noises, it's like, I think that's where the fatigue sets in. Because if you were to take some of those out of your ears where you're just hearing the band, I don't think it's quite as, because I mean, honestly, for me, I can listen to something like Living Sacrifice or something from like the late 90s, early 2000s that is extremely aggressive from start to finish and not feel quite as like worn out because it's not so much going on at all times. Like there's that,
right,
that space in between stuff.
Right. Okay, let's run through the members of this band. So, and actually, when I was doing this, I realized something within this. So, all right, we've got Matt Brandyberry, which that's quite a last name, Mr.
Yeah,
Brandyberry. He's the rapper on keyboards, synthesizers. He does programming, and then clean vocals at times, bass, rhythm guitar. I don't know. He just kind of did it all at different points. And like you said, there was lots of lineup changes, but he's mainly the rap vocals, and he does a little bit of everything else.
And if I'm not mistaken,
mostly rapping.
If I'm not mistaken, he is the only like original member, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Which, there's a lot of overlap between these guys, but they've had lots of lineup changes within this band. So, okay. Then we've got Lance, Dowdle on guitar and bass, which I thought was interesting, switches between that. I don't know. Like all these guys are multi-instrumentally talented. Anyway, Matt Mandiro on drums. Danny Case is the clean vocals, and then Jimmy Bennett on rhythm guitar, and then also bass. I guess Jimmy and Lance switch around. So what I realized in this is this was I'm going to stick to. This is the new generation of nu metal, like the safe, radio friendly nu metal, but they don't have a turntable. They don't have somebody on turntable. That's something that I think is missing, is a dedicated person on the production, basically.
So one of the things I noticed, I don't know if I've mentioned the band Black Gold before this episode. Yeah. Highly recommend them. I really, really dig them. They are a newer rap metal band from the UK. They all wear masks and cool costumes. They have a good sense of humor about themselves. A really fun band. And there was a couple parts on this album where I thought there's a heavy riff playing and you've got a little bit of a groove on the drums. And then there's some sort of like boop-de-bop-de-boop, boop-de-bop-de-boop. Cut that out and put wicka, 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 and it totally changes the entire feel of that section. And I would have been way more into it. So
you're saying take out the boom debatos and put in a wiki wiki?
Yes, you get it. You know what I'm saying.
Do I? I don't know if I was
Unfortunately, you do.
All right, let's talk about this album now. So let's talk about track 1, Heartache.
I've been to hell and back 1,000 times. So if you're thinking that I'm quitting, then you're out your mind. And just forget it, I ain't tripping somewhere down.
The intro here let me know that I need to get pumped up. We're going to do something that's going to be energetic to an extent. And then Mr. Brandyberry, I'm going to fumble that all night. He comes in just rapping, just full on rapping. This one, I feel like this was a good opener for this album because this let you know what this album is going to be.
Growing up in a prison is nothing different than the town I'm used to living in. It had me feeling like I'm someone insignificant, but now I know.
Yeah, for me personally, I don't think this is a great opener. I feel like it takes a little while before it gets to the chorus. It reminded me of Lose Yourself. Like it reminded me of a rocked up version of Lose Yourself by Eminem, which there's worse things to try to emulate. Nice big chorus. I do agree with you that it is sort of like a really good It gives you a taste of
Introduction.
everything that you're going to hear, you know.
No, but Brandy Berry, I do have notes about what different songs are about. You know, this is basically him talking about how he grew up in a rough place, and he's not going to let that define who he's going to be, and you shouldn't either, blah, blah. Cool. But then it's almost like they went running out the gate and then went back because it was safer. And it's, I don't know, I found somewhere that said that this is the most algorithmically approved version of Pain.
The most algorithmically approved version of nu metal. It is technically doing everything that nu metal does. It's just, it's the safe, like, easy version. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, it's fine. Like, I think it's cool. But then I think a really good example of where my struggles begin and where they stay for the entire record is the section that starts around 2.5 minutes. We go into this heavy part that if this was, again, not to like harp on it too much, but if this was like a more traditional nu metal band, the drums would kind of loosen up a little bit. The synth wouldn't be so loud and so in your face. It's sort of like that's the part where they could have really went new, but instead they went more in the butt rock direction, you know? So I'm not mad at it. I don't think it's bad, but it sounds more like video game music than it does like a nu metal band doing the bridge of their rap rock song. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. So we also have talked about in the past that, and I meant to mention this before and I did not, so here I am. We mentioned in the past about how so many albums are meant to be listened to in headphones. Earbuds, not headphones, earbuds. I don't think that this was meant to be listened in earbuds. I think it was meant to be listened to in your car or on speakers because those synth sounds, I gave up on headphones real quick because you're right. They are mixed so far forward. They are so loud, and it just became a thing where I said, I don't need to do this because I'm not going to hear frequencies after this. I don't need it because it, you know, it's like you get this like, you know, higher pitch, you know, synth and then, you know, a big, you know, scream comes in. Okay, cool. But then that synth is still there at that same frequency, and it just was not, my brain wasn't happy. My ears were not happy.
So we've talked about this on other episodes. Can a band play without their laptop?
No, they cannot.
I disagree. I think these guys absolutely can. And to be honest with you, I'd kind of like to hear that because...
No, okay, I think they can, but they can't play this album and make it sound like this.
No, it would not sound like this. It would sound a little bit more like what I think I would want it to sound like. You know what I mean? Because like I said, that bridge is a great example of where I'm being pulled in multiple directions because I like where they went. I like that they decided to go for a heavy bridge. It's just, it's so overproduced that it's sort of like I'm hearing more of the screechy synth sounds than I am the guitar and the bass and the drums. And it's just like my problem with The Pretty Wild. As much as I liked that record, sometimes the production kind of got in the way. At least in their case, their production painted the songs in this kind of eerie gothic music box thing, where this just kind of paints them into the corner with all the other bands that sound like this, you know?
Yeah, no, I don't know. The synths did become an issue. Even listening to it through speakers, it was kind of like, just stop, don't do that. It's almost like the thing that needs to be talked about more is less is more. Less production is more of a sound.
I think we're going to see a shift to that soon. I think some of the bands that I've been mentioning, like Silly Goose and Black Gold and stuff, are already starting that shift. But I mean, mainstream Octane rock, like it's got to be clean, it's got to be polished, it's got to be big like this. So maybe it doesn't necessarily happen on like a full scale, that big of a degree. But I do feel like there's enough people like us that are like, hey, this was really cool. We really liked it when metal bands and metalcore bands started incorporating the strings and the synth and stuff. But now you all do it. Like, somebody has to be the guys that say, you know what, we're not going to do that anymore.
No, I 100% agree. And I think it'd be interesting. I think it'd be fun if we're still around, the show's still around, and we start to see the shift when, you know.
I think it's coming. I think we will be.
I feel like we've started kind of at the beginning of this evolutionary stage within music, and we're going to come out of it and still be around.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. With a few more listeners by
maybe
then.
maybe we'll still be around for breakfast and not what was I know I sent you audience. I made a couple. We are recording this April 1st, and I made a couple like April Fools. We're changing our names. It was what was it? Down Beats for Dinner.
Down Beats for Dinner. Yes, that was that. I kept wanting to say beat downs, and I was like, that ain't right.
Yeah, well, that's just that's every night for me. With triplets. Beat downs. No.
Fair enough.
So okay, let's move on and talk about track 2, Nightmare. Go on.
This is cool. This is right up my alley. I do like this one a lot. I thought in this case, the synth during that opening riff made sense because it felt almost like they were going for like a 80s techno vibe with the nu metal riff. Like, this to me feels, I don't want to say the most Linkin Park moment of the album, but this song felt the most cohesive to me as far as I felt like there was a lot of production, but it served a point. I thought that the chorus is huge. This is a cool song. I like this one a lot.
So I feel like this one was much more. I do feel like it had some Linkin Park in it. Maybe they were just parking Lincolns, and it wasn't full on Linkin Park. But I did feel like it had the rap part of it definitely had much more of a like Hollywood Undead type feel to it.
So that was something I was going to mention too. The rapper, his inflections, he's got a couple of different rap voices, and I like some more than I like others. And sometimes when I
appreciate that he has different rap.
I do too.
Voices and flows and whatnot. Yeah, I do appreciate that.
But when he attacks it too hard and he comes in with the real rap voice, that's the one that I'm not real keen on because it feels a little put on. That's not to say he's not doing a good job. It's just that, like, I prefer his other tones a little more than the I'm Mr. Rapper voice, you know.
Please do that again.
I'm going to do a whole album like it. You just wait.
Okay. I will not listen to it.
Hey, shut up. Patreon exclusive.
Okay, so this one, it's a fun one, fine, but I feel like this entire song is they were trying to sound aggressive. They were trying to sound bigger. They were trying to sound like they were doing something. And this was one of those, like, I liked it. I could hear the effort. And so I commend them for trying, but it all feels very assembled.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, it does feel a little bit more, you said, kind of feel them trying to be aggressive. Like, this one, if I had to compare it to anything, reminded me of Points of Authority by Linkin Park. Where it has, like, the clean vocals and then sort of like a rappy pre-chorus and then a big chorus. Like, it's like kind of doing all those things where, like you said, it's not bad. Like, it's cool. It's a fun riff, but it's like none of it is like, wow, I've never heard that before. You know what I mean? It's all very much like, yeah, like this is cool. We've heard bands do this before. I like most of the bands that do this kind of thing. So yeah, I like this.
This one, to me, felt like they started as a Linkin Park cover band.
I will say, when I first discovered them, I guess you could say, I had never heard them before. And I knew we were going to go see them live. And so I went back.
Who did you see them with?
Skillet.
That's right. You mentioned that before. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I didn't know anything about them. So I listened to, I want to say it might have been their 2018 album, The Future, because I think that was probably in the, I don't know if, I really don't remember when I saw him with Skillet, but I remember I listened to that album, and I couldn't tell you anything about it now because I have not listened to it in forever. But I remember playing it for a friend of mine and being like, can you guess who this band is? And within the first 25 seconds, he goes, oh, that's Linkin Park. And I said, it's not. And that's the problem.
It's Linkin Fark.
It was way too, it's Pink and Lark, by the way.
Okay. Sorry. I didn't know that saying it wrong was going to be corrected, but
it's Parking Lincolns. I think we already established that.
It's Parking Lincolns. It's their day jobs they're all valets.
But I will say this album, again, it's been so long since I listened to it, I could be completely off base, but I just remember thinking, this is too much the same. This feels like a ripoff. Like we've talked about before, there's being inspired by, and then there's ripping off. And that kind of, I didn't love that. I saw them live and was real impressed and had fun with it. And on this album, I don't feel like they're ripping off. I just feel like they're borrowing from all these other bands, and I feel like I hear it like real distinctly, and but it feels more like they're being influenced by, and they're not quote unquote ripping anybody off.
Yeah. All right. Track 3, Hate Me Too.
Except on this song where I think they're ripping off like 3 different bands.
Yes. All right. So based off of where we just were, because I feel like the first 2 tracks really came out of the gate on this album and really kind of just were giving us what they are. Cool. And then the intro on this one is very off-putting for where we just came from.
I wish I hated you, and I threw all this shit.
This is the one that I said I knew exactly how this was going to start. Like the first time through, after those first 2 songs, I was like, this next song's going to start with an acoustic guitar. I can feel it. And sure enough, that was like between the just the vibe I get from this band and the song title Hate Me Too, I was like, track 3 is usually like a big single track for a lot of rock and metal bands. And then it started, I was like, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a single that they would have put out. I don't know. I don't have all the singles. I think I have 1 single they released from this album in my notes, but this definitely feels like it would have been a single because it's very familiar to people because they are mixing so many different bands. What bands do you have that they mixed on this song?
So the most like one for one is there's a song by Papa Roach called Help. Which I think is a top tier Papa Roach song, like top 10 Papa Roach song for sure. And the way he sings the chorus, the way Jacoby sings Help, there's a lot of similarities there. So I hear that a whole lot. The part that I think is kind of, I don't want to say funny, but sort of like the pre-chorus right before it goes into the chorus where he's like, so ba da 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 ba da ba da ba da.
Every day sucks when we try to make up. I wanna take drugs so I never wake up. I wanna get away, I'll never get away. I'll tell you to your face, I'll tell you straight up that
It sounds like Sum 41.
That's exactly what I thought. It's a Fat Lip.
Yes, it sounds like Fat Lip.
Hey, I know I'm not the one you thought you knew back in high school. Never going, never showing up when we had to. Attention that we crave, don't tell us to behave. I'm sick of always hearing that.
But it sounds like Fat Lip being performed by Machine Gun Kelly.
That's, yeah, 100%. I'm with you on that. No, because it was, like, I remember the first time I listened to that track for this album is, like, I was in the shower. It was just playing. I was like, Sum 41 just come on? Oh, no, we're out of that now. Yeah, and then every time I came back to this song, I heard that, and it was just, oh, man, that's,
Okay.
I don't know.
So I genuinely love the song Help by Papa Roach. And this song was giving me that vibe. But again, it was like, oh, one of those things where it's like, I'd rather be listening to that than this.
Yeah.
But then I watched the music video for this song, and it rules. This music video is fantastic. The whole video is basically like the guys trying to have fun. Because here's the other thing about these music videos. Every single one of them, they're dressed all in black. They're in some scary ass location. Something's on fire. That's just the aesthetic. This one, they're like in a bowling alley and they're all wearing Hawaiian shirts. And the lead singer walks in with a blow-up doll, and it's like his girlfriend, and they're all like, they kind of like roll their eyes like, oh shit, he's bringing her around again. But then you see her like with the rap vocalist, and they're like kind of sneaking off and stuff. It's hilarious. And at one point, dude completely snaps, and he like rips her open. But they filled her full of like fake gore and like organs and stuff. So blood's flying everywhere as he's like ripping apart this blow up doll. Fantastic. Like I was like, I'm in. Never mind. I love this song.
I'll watch it. I am very curious about that music video now. Like I said, I did not watch this music video. I know I'm just going to go with I watched one. I watched one video from this. So there's a line in this song that it's a couple lines, but I had a love-hate relationship with it. And it was really that I hated that I liked it.
It's because it sounds like Taking Back Sunday. No, that's the next song. Never mind. Sorry.
No. Yeah, that is the next song. Yep. So no, in this one he says, "'Cause you're like a bad tattoo. Yeah, I was stupid. I can't remove it. Now I'm stuck with you."
'Cause you're like a bad tattoo. Yeah, I was stupid. Can't remove it. Now I'm stuck with you.
That's good. That's clever.
It's clever, and it's so cheesy, but it's also like, man, that's fun. And that was the part about this that really got me is they're not great lyrics, but they're fine lyrics. We have the acoustic bridge. This is a bouncy song. Mm-hmm. It's got a fun vibe to it. And I do like the dichotomy of where he's talking about, it's a bad relationship. I'm broken and whatnot, but then it's fun and bouncy and whatnot. Lyrically, surface level, I didn't feel like there was much depth to it, but I feel like it was a fine song. I don't know. Going back to what was in the beginning, I didn't love it, didn't hate it. I was fine with it.
I think it makes sense as like a single. It makes sense as this is where this song is on the album. This is like, again, written to be a hit Octane song. You know what I mean? Like it's heavy enough that it rocks. There's some cussing in it, which kind of gives it a little edge to it, but it's also very clean, and it's a breakup song. It's destined for mainstream rock success. And from what I can tell, that's exactly what it did, so, it's escaping me right now, but in the music video, for as funny as all that is, the guitar player says there's a line where he talks about treatments for music videos. Oh, he says something like, at the end, they're all going to like shoot a different music video, and they're like in a warehouse. And he goes, yeah, I know every rock band shoots in an abandoned warehouse, but ours is going to be different.
You should hate me too.
It's like, that's the kind of like personality touch that I think is being lost when you listen to this album, that if you watch them, you get a lot more out of, which brings me to one more thing, and then we can move on to the next song. I might have a little bit of a crush on Lance Dowdell, or however you say his name. Because I was trying to look up which one of the guitar players is the one that like wears masks and like is a little bit more theatrical, and it's him. And it's like, that's what I was trying to look like when I was wearing masks and doing all that. I came off like a douchebag, but he looks cool as shit.
You feel bromantical towards him.
I like that. Yes, we will go bromantical. I like that.
Yes. All right. So track 4, Hope You're Happy.
Feels like I'm killing myself. There's a hole in me where you cut me from my spirit. Yeah, you torture me.
Now, this is the one that you were saying, something about Take It Back Sunday?
Yes, big time.
Now, why do you say something about Take It Back Sunday? Is this because this is the big emo song of the album? This is like, it's almost like they had to write an emo song and stick it into the album?
Because the line says, should I sing you a happy song with a noose around my neck? Apologize for bleeding when you stab me in the back.
Should I sing you a happy song with the noose around my neck? Apologize for bleeding when you stab me in the back.
I mean, and with my one last dying breath, I will apologize for bleeding on your shirt. It's like,
Right.
You
The
know,
most emo line ever. This is like the most emo line sequel.
If you could slit my throat, and with my one last gasping breath, I'd apologize for bleeding on your shirt.
yes,
In this song.
pretty
And,
much.
Yeah. That was my thought the first time listening to this. I thought, man, are they trying to emulate that line and get some more life out of that one? I don't know. I guess it should be a surprise. This is probably one of my favorite songs off the album. There's, there's a handful in here, but really I think I like it more because of where that reminds me of the Take It Back Sunday thing. And I think it's a fun thing. Like, it's not that I really enjoy this song at its core. Like, again, going back to I like it, I don't love it, but it's like, this song just was fun to me, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like we have definitely gotten to the point to where you can feel that breakdown is coming. It's coming. It's just a standard breakdown. And I feel like they are nu metal outside of the breakdown, or bits and pieces, but outside of the breakdown, it's very much a metalcore safe move.
So something I didn't mention on the last song, Hate Me Too, the bridge, we talked about this on so many other albums. If you have a song like that and you hit your bridge and you take it up a notch, I'm really impressed. They didn't do that. They brought it down and then just kind of brought it back up for the finale on that last chorus. Totally cool.
Okay. Do you know why they brought it down? And this is what I thought was really strange about this. And I think this might be why I like this song more, because they put the breakdown before the bridge
On Hope You're
on
Happy?
this song. Yeah. The
Yeah,
breakdown
okay.
was before the bridge. And I thought that was a really strange move, because you're right. If you can, if a band can, bring out the bridge and it takes it up a notch, but then the breakdown comes and it really hits you with a punch. But no, they punched me and then gave me a bridge. And it was like, I thought it was kind of a strange thing. And it was like, I'm not crazy about the bridge or the breakdown before the bridge, but at the same time, why not?
Yeah, I actually, again, that it's so overproduced that it doesn't quite hit me as hard as I would like it to, because I did appreciate the fact that is what they went for. Like, they went for a heavy bridge, because this was like that nightclub core. Like, we haven't heard a lot of that here recently, but with the way the synth lines are and the way his vocal melody is, I was getting that kind of vibe. So it was cool that they sort of did like little rappy pre-choruses.
All you wanna do is tell me how to live my life and what to choose. It's got me feeling like I'm flying by a noose.
Which, again, I didn't love his tone of voice, but I liked the mixing of it, trying to mix it up a little bit. And so then I liked that they did exactly what you said. They went for that chuggy, kind of bridge, but it's just so I don't know, because the guitar's going dun, 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 dun,
Right.
dun. But then you've got the beep, beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, 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 boop on top of it. And it's like, obviously this works. This is a popular record, and this is a popular way to produce music right now. I'm just old school. I would rather the beepy boops not be in there.
Yeah, I just kind of had a hard time with my age during this album, because it was just so much I'm old man yelling at cloud.
Yeah. No, I
it's just-
agree.
Yeah, I'm too old for this.
Because I think back to like Hybrid Theory and Meteora, those first two Linkin Park albums that I hold very dear. They all had the beepy boopy stuff too, but I always felt like that stuff was really loud when that when it needed to be. But whenever you got into the heavy parts and the big riffs would come in, they kind of dialed some of that back. You might hear like a real loud scratching section kind of mixed in or something, but it felt really like I felt like they balanced that better. Whereas a lot of these newer albums, it's just like that production just stays on top of the mix from start to finish.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is a new core album with beeps and boops slapped on top.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. I do want to talk about the ending on here because I've made it very clear in the past that I do not like a fade out. I don't. And there was something interesting I noticed here where the song came to an end and they had this outro beepy sound that faded out. And that was kind of an interesting thing because it's like the song ended, but then this extra sound just kind of faded out. And I was okay with that. And I'd struggled with, who I am as a person. Where I was like, am I okay with a fade out? Do I like tambourine now? And
I feel like the fade out on this is fairly short.
It is, but it's still there. It still fades.
Yeah, a little bit. It actually, the fade out sounds like the fade in of Pushing You Away by Linkin Park, which is kind of interesting. But, it doesn't bother me. I think it's fine. I think you're the one with the problem there.
I mean, wouldn't be the first time that it's me.
Nor the last.
It's not you, it's me. No,
that's what I told these guys when we started this episode, From Ashes to New. It's not you, it's me. I'm the one that has a problem.
All right, let's move on to talk about track 5, Barely Breathing.
The kills you then were even. You were my world, but my head was in the stars. But then you burned me out and left me in the dark. You used to lift me up, you always used to pick me up, but now you want to give me up and tearing me apart.
I wanted this to be a Duncan Sheet cover.
'Cause I am barely breathing. I think that is the 4th time I have sung that song on this podcast.
'Cause I am barely breathing, and I can't find the air.
I can't remember what other episode we brought that same song up on, but yeah, I wanted this to be a Duncan Sheet cover, and mostly because I want that song covered because I think it'd be fun. Not that I think it'd be good, but because it's a great song. I don't know. Like, it's just... that feeds my 90s heart.
So I mentioned earlier that there is a bit of a lull in this album for me, and it's this stretch right here. 4, 5, and 6, just sort of, they're all fine, but they don't like, the first time through, I didn't really write anything down because I was like, I don't know what to say. It's just kind of there. You know what I mean? Like, as I listened to it, I picked up on a couple things that I thought were interesting that I did kind of like. There's apparently another version of this song with some other people in it. I did not listen to that, but there is this like digitized female voice that you can hear in the background every once in a while that I think is
I never picked up on that.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. Once I like realized it was there, I kept noticing it and was like, I don't know what she's saying, if she's singing or talking, but it just kind of paints the vibe a little bit. And I don't know. That's kind of neat. I like that.
So, and I know you'll correct me, but I feel like this is the closest the synths got to like a Linkin Park Numb.
So, yes, it kind of has that sort of like crawling sort of like synth lead line. Whereas some of the other ones are just sort of like in the mix. This one sort of stands out more, but I don't know. It's just, it doesn't, I don't know. Like I had a hard time even taking notes on this because I was like, I will say, I think it's the second verse that starts around like 128. I like that verse because the drums do pick up a little bit and you do have a little bit of a bounce and groove to it. And I liked that section.
You were my world, but my head was in the stars. But then you burned me out and left me in the dark.
And then the bridge on this one I actually really liked too. I forgot this is the bridge that's like got the acoustic guitar.
Yep. I put the bridge as a nice break from what the rest of the song was. Because
Yes.
it's very much I don't know, very much a pop verse, and the choruses are synth heavy, mid tempo nu metal power ballad.
Yeah,
know.
like this to me feels like they're.
I don't know. I know that was a lot of descriptors all put together, but
No. I think you really nailed it. I think between the two of us, we really nailed it. This feels like their attempt at a crawling or numb or something like that, and I just don't think they're quite hitting it. You know what I mean? Yeah, like I get what they're shooting for, and I just don't think they're quite hitting it.
Okay, so the pre-chorus rap that we get here, there's certain parts of this album that have these lyrics that go, yeah, I don't know about that. This is one of those. He says, now you're leaving. I'm the one who's bleeding. Cut out a piece of me. Now I'm barely breathing.
Now you're leaving. I'm the one who's bleeding. Cut out a piece of me. Now I'm barely breathing.
And I, like, when the first time I heard it, I thought, oh, he said the name of the song. Oh, that's there. But it was kind of like that's little cringy. Okay.
But he said the name of the song, but he didn't say it like you're supposed to say it, which is, I am barely breathing. You get the jangle acoustic. Okay, sorry. I can't. God, I love that song.
I can't find the air.
Yes. Yeah. God, that's a good song. We should cover that song.
Just that song, not the album.
No. I'm saying we should cover that song, like guitar, as a band. Yes.
We should perform that song.
Yes.
Can we do it in the style of From Ashes to New? Which will be in the style of Linkin Park.
I would rather not.
Okay, so I do like that after the bridge, we do get the rap vocals back, but they're distorted. They're kind of further back in the mix, and I do like that. I think that was a good place there. I kind of wish they did that kind of thing more throughout this, because it didn't put the rap up front. It just accented with the rap. And I was good with that.
Yeah. Like I said, this feels like they're trying to do that, like I remember, on Crawling is a good example, Chester is carrying that song, but then Mike has those like real quick little fills right before the chorus kicks in, just to kind of get the rap verse in, you know what I mean? Just so there's some rapping
because
in
he's there too,
right?
because Mike's a part of things.
Yeah, but because he's the one who wrote the song, you know what I mean? So right. Yeah. But anyway,
all right, let's move on to talk about track 6, "Dead to Me."
I wish I never had. You're trying to sell me the lie that you're my better half, and now you live in the past. I want to delete you, dead to me.
I feel like the last track, I wanted to move past it because it was turning into nothing but Duncan Sheik and Linkin Park talk.
Yes. Now,
Duncan Park.
No, damn it. I was trying to get you to not do that.
No, we will make a band called Linkin Sheik, and it's going to be awful.
Oh, God, Linkin
Mainly
Sheik.
because it's you and I in a band, and I have no musical talent.
And I have very little.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So this one comes out the gate heavier than, we've kind of heard in the last couple tracks. But I am going to agree with what you said before, that they don't quite stick the landing here. It just doesn't feel like it has any balls.
I would throw out there, a handful of our listeners are probably going to know what I'm getting ready to say. You won't, but some people will. You should listen to Dead to Me by Dark Complex that came out in 2016. They do not sound the same at all. They are very different songs. But Dark Complex is straight up, there is no core, new core, butt rock. It is straight up nu metal as can be. But they have a clean vocalist. They have a rapper. They got some beeps and boops. But I just thought it was so funny that From Ashes to New in 2023 put out a song called Dead to Me, when Dark Complex put one out 10 years ago very like similar vibes. They don't sound the same, but like all the same pieces are there. You know, it cracks me up. Maybe put a little sound clip in here for me just to make me smile.
Okay, I'll put it in right here.
You were never worth it anyway. You tried to bring me with the words you speak, but you already did to me.
This will be the first time that Duncan Sheik and that have ever been played that close to each other. Anyway, go on.
Well, I was just going to say, so this is, yeah, so again, you got a cool opening riff, but the synth is so loud and it just like hides the riff. It's like, give me the riff. Like, I don't mind there being some like, this is a really good example. Take that synth line down or out and add in DJ scratching, and we are in a whole different world. And
well, they can't add in DJ scratching. They don't have a DJ.
They don't have 3 synthesizer players either, but that's in here.
Yeah, true. Okay, so I feel like where he screams "dead to me" at the end of the chorus is just too far forward. Like, I feel like that would have been something that would have been good to pull back in the mix and almost, even if you were to pull "dead to me," like pull it down as it continues on. Like, I just feel like that, I don't know, because we get what I feel like is probably one of the heavier breakdowns on this album in this song. I feel like throwing that in just kind of didn't make the breakdown feel as heavy as they intended it to be. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I actually I'm going to push back a little bit because
No.
I will push as much as I feel like pushing. This bridge takes a lot of the beepy boopy shit out, and it is mostly just live human beings and instruments.
You're dead to me inside, so get the fuck out of my life.
And so I kind of like it better. I feel like I can hear the guitar clear. I don't know, the way he's rapping, like he's got like sort of that rap scream kind of combo thing going on. And I like it. Again, there's still that little bit of a disconnect where it's not wowing me. I'm not loving it, but I really like it better than the way the opening riff sounds versus the way the guitar riff sounds in this section. Yes, I will take this sound over the opening sound all day.
Okay, so I'm not saying the breakdown they gave us was bad. I don't think the bridge was bad. I just think that the scream of the "dead to me" was, kind of detracting from the heaviness of it. But I do understand what you're saying about the way that he's rapping there. I feel like this is really one of the only places where we got that he's rapping at us. And, I thought it was strange because the song is talking about not going back to the toxic person. So we've gotten where he's, all throughout this album so far, we've got bad relationship, finally leaving the relationship, and now it's about not going back to that relationship. Fine. Okay. Whatever. I get it. The title "Dead to Me," that toxic person is now dead to them. Great. But why is he rapping at me? Like rap to me. Serenade me.
You thought you were being rapped at until you got to the next song.
Yeah, so let's talk about track 7, Monster in Me.
This position, and nothing you can do could ever worsen my condition. So why you try to play the villain? Understand that I'm the monster in my blood, looking for a way to spill it. I can't wait till you see what I make when I paint the walls red with the gun in my brain, and I can't wait to see the look on your face.
Okay.
This is one of those times where I really question calling myself Monster.
Okay, so what I felt like with this song is, okay, yes, this is the hip hop song of the album. There's no denying that. This is just nothing but a rap song.
Yeah.
But I feel like he very much is in that like emo rap, SoundCloud rapper world, like that sound of things. Cool, I guess. I don't know. This is probably my least favorite track off of the album just because it felt like a phoned in rap in a lot of ways. It's almost like they put this here because he could do it and they wanted to, they felt like they needed to put a rap track here.
Yeah, I don't mind his voice. I don't mind the verses. The only parts I don't like about 132 when it goes into that, those parts I don't need. Like that's.
You mean the 21 Pilots section?
I think there's something wrong inside my head. I'm getting anxious. I've lost all hope. I had to stay calm. I cannot stand this.
Yeah, the SoundCloud rapper thing, like you just mentioned. Like I feel like when the verses are going, yeah, it's not my favorite, but his tone of voice is fine, and I think it has like a good vibe to it. If you were to replace the high-pitched synth with a high-pitched guitar, you could almost pass this off as like a more later day Korn lift in the guitars. And I liked that part of it. It's just, yeah, because it's more beepy boopy than there's actually like guitars again. You know, it's just, I don't know. I do like when the female voice right before the chorus kicks in, there's a monster in it.
The blood run through my veins and there's a monster in it.
I like that. I like when she says that. That's probably my favorite part of the song.
So, okay, let me get this right. You really like the part where if they replaced something, it would sound like something you like. Like,
well, when you put it that way.
I put it the same way that you did.
But yes, you are correct. If they would have replaced this song with a better... No, I'm kidding. I just like that opening riff is cool. And when the high-pitched synth on top of it is there, I just wish it was another guitar. Like, I feel like there's too much of the beepy boopy production. Like at the end of the day, that is my biggest gripe. This one is like, I see what they're going for and I like the effort. It's just, it suffers from some of the same problems as the other songs.
Yeah. Okay. But then we get to a point in the song where, they say, like, somebody in the band said, guys, we need a bridge for this song. And somebody else said, I know, we'll just say, you don't want to see the monster over and over again.
Well, I mean, it's a rap song. Why bother with, the trouble of putting in a catchy bridge?
Why put in a bridge? Like, if you're just gonna, like, we've already, like, I have gotten at this point that you have a monster in you. Which,
it sounds like something you've said before.
Damn it. So, okay, we get that the monster is the analogy for your anger in you, whatever. You're mad because you are trying to get over this person that you've talked about so much in the album so far. Now you don't want to go back to the person, but now it's like, I am mad that this happened. Okay. Okay. You don't need a bridge to this song. I don't need to hear about more of the monster at this point. Just be done with the song. I feel like the song actually would have been a lot better if they decided to end it before that bridge or just cut the bridge out and just, yeah. So
again, I'm sure these guys are used to it by now, but I'm not like picking on them or anything. But again, it reminds me of a Linkin Park song called Nobody's Listening. It was near the end of Meteora, track 10 or 11, one of the last songs.
The ride on. The pain gave me something I can set my sights on. You never forget the blood, sweat, and tears. The uphill struggle over years. The fear.
It's essentially the rap song. Chester sings a hook, but I think there's some guitar, but it's mostly just a Mr. Han beat and rap. And unless I'm completely misremembering, I don't think there's a bridge. I think it's a couple of verses and a couple of hooks. It's under 3 minutes long. That's kind of what I think this should have been. Like, I feel like this could have been that, but they just said, let's make it a full song. They have a music video for this one. This was another like single or, something like that. So yeah, it's definitely not one of my favorites, but it's okay.
Let's move on and talk about track 8, Echoes.
It's so fucked up beyond recognition. I can't spend another night living life like I'm falling on a knife. Cause it pulls at the breath from my lungs till I'm dead. I can get out the thoughts in my head.
In editing, I may add an echo to me saying.
Please do.
I don't know, I probably won't.
Please do.
I'm probably not going to because this is going to be too much work. I already got to download and put in lots of clips of Linkin Park, and I got to put a Duncan Sheik, some clip in here. Anyway,
no, just put in the clip of me and you singing it.
Yeah, I'm just going to put in that clip. I mean, you can hear the clip right here. Anyway, nobody wants to hear that. I'm not going to put that in there. Okay. So I feel like this was the ballad of the song, of the album.
We've already had like 3 of those.
I know. This is a rap ballad album. I don't know. I feel like this album, or this song, excuse me, I feel like this song was written for a live show. I feel like this was written to be played live because the chorus on this song is memorable and made for fans to sing back to them.
Tired of feeling like something is missing. The war inside.
Yeah, a little bit. I hear that. We keep talking about the guy, the rapper, and his sort of like different tones of voice. The pre-choruses on this one, I think the first one starts around like 48, 49 seconds. I can't spit another night. Da, da, da. Like, I like his tone there. He's almost like sing rapping, sort of. He's got a cool flow and a cool melody. I like that a lot.
I can't spend another night living life like I'm falling on the knife. Cause it pulls at the
I am not surprised you like that because I put down, I'm not a fan of the reggae tone in the pre-chorus.
Oh God, it's not reggaeton. Come on.
No, but it's got more of a reggae tone to it than elsewhere that we've heard in this album. And it was like, I don't like it when you do that. And I'm good.
But generally speaking, like I feel like the verses are kind of, again, it's got that Linkin Park thing going on again, where it's kind of like atmospheric and it's more synth than it is like live instruments. I think I hear some like clean guitar and stuff. You know, it doesn't sound bad. It's just kind of there. Like it doesn't really do anything for me.
I feel like if anything, this is the filler of the album. I feel like, where I said at the beginning that they wrote a bunch of songs and then they picked the best songs out of those to make an album. I feel like this one was kind of stuck here. I do feel like it was a filler song. I am starting to get fatigued at this point in a straight through listen.
Yeah.
This is where I'm kind of like, I don't know. And then we go on to talk about track 9, Armageddon.
lights out, we welcome the darkness. Blackout, arise and believe. We made a home for the heartless. To run away from reality. Living in the
Which this one was released as a single. Did you watch the video for this one?
I'm sure I did. I can't.
You did say you watched all the videos.
Yeah,
for this
I
one.
know I saw
Okay.
it, but I'm not sure which one it was.
Okay, the music video was released the same day as the single, and it's a video of them playing in what I felt like you said before. There's fire and whatnot, and this is one where there's fire. And I feel like that this is what a teenager thinks the end of the world will look like.
Yes, I know which video you're talking about.
Yeah, it didn't feel like the end of the world on it. It felt like they were playing on a very small soundstage, and they kind of had set this up.
Yeah.
Usually in videos like this, there's some kind of not band shots that's some kind of a narrative, and cool. But okay, in an interview with New Noise magazine, Danny Case, that clean singer, he said that several tracks on Blackout, including this one, highlight the singer's interplay and produce a lively groove. I didn't feel like that was very lively, but okay. He added that the songs also focus on the emotional content of the lyrics, drawing on influences from Linkin Park and other early 2000s acts.
Yeah.
I feel like this was a Linkin Park song.
Okay, there's 3 bands here. The opening, the opening is Skillet. The opening is very much Comatose era Skillet. What I will commend Skillet for, though, is when I saw them on that tour, they had a cello and a violinist. Like, they had actual musicians playing those stringed instruments on stage. So,
Yep, here it's a symphony.
I think it's probably a symphony. Yes, I would probably agree with that. But those like real simple power chords with the jing, ding, 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 jing, jing, like giant, huge string quartet thing going on. I'm done with that. I'm just over it. Like I get people dig that and that's cool. I get that they're going for this huge epic feel for this song. Fine, but whatever. When the verse comes in, his voice, man, like that's the rap voice I don't like. Like, that's the one that feels very put on.
What are we doing? We're burning everything we love for something stupid. It's so confusing that we kill ourselves for what
I will say, talking about the interplay between the two of them, the pre-chorus thingy that starts around like 47 seconds, again, where he's kind of like rap singing, kind of screaming. I don't know if, I guess it's the clean vocalist. I'm really not sure.
I think it is the clean vocalist.
Yeah. I like that part a lot.
Welcome to darkness. Blackout, arise and believe. We made a home for the heartless. Run away from reality.
Because there is a bit of a groove and there's kind of a flow to his vocals. So I like that part a lot. Now, I don't know if you want me to continue to go through the song, because I can tell you where we get the third band.
Yeah, where do we get third band?
Third band shows up at around 2:21, 2:22.
The breakdown?
Yes, that's when Korn shows up.
This is the end.
Yeah.
Because
I actually had the note, the breakdown is the best part, but I could have done without the synth line.
again, take out the synth and put in head style, little high pitched twinkling on the guitar, and this sounds like Korn. But because they got to do the synth instead of the guitar, it kind of gives it a different kind of vibe. But the low doom, doom, dooms on the guitar, even the way he screams, what's the line? I think it's like something, feeling more alive. The way he says alive sounds like Jonathan Davis saying May. Like, it has that same kind of like thing going on. Yes, I love all that. Like, that's very cool. But again, it's the high pitched beepy boops that, like, I wish that was more guitar driven and less synth driven.
And we have established that Justin Timberlake got his pronunciation of me from Jonathan Davis's pronunciation of me.
Absolutely, 100%.
It's all talking about the fifth month of the year. That's all it is. So yeah, I don't know. The video made me feel old because that was when I had the thought, like, they don't look old enough to say this many F-bombs. Yeah, I don't know. I was watching it going, I'm tired now.
As much as I like rap metal and new metal and like a lot of what these guys are doing, every song just feels like a bad breakup song. And it's like I said on the last album we did, I am 40 with kids and a mortgage. Like, a breakup song doesn't do much for me at this point. Like, if he's in there screaming in the booth about mortgage rates or the stock market, I'm like, yes, brother, preach. But like, I'm sorry she dumped you, man. But like, my back hurts. I ain't got time for this.
I just really just want a rap rock song about how there's no more leave left and how there's only one more square on the toilet paper roll.
Well, it's like that dude that's going
and how you
viral.
stubbed your toe.
That dude that's going viral for the PetSmart thing. Like, that's I shop at PetSmart. I can identify with this. I thought the same thing.
I got a question. Is it Pet Smart or PetSmart? Are you saying that pets are smart? Or are you saying you're a mart for pets? I need answers!
Yes, I've thought the same thing many times. I've actually had the same I've had the same conversation many times. Like, is it Pet Smart or Pet Smart? Yeah. It drives me nuts. And they have yet to come out and say which one it is.
Every time I hear it, though, I think about Bruce Campbell in Army of Darkness. Shop smart, shop S-Mart.
Shop smart, shop S-Mart.
Right. I want to shop S-Mart. Sure.
Oh, me too. That'd be awesome.
All right, track 10, Legacy.
Who can I turn to? I'm trying to only depend on the loved ones without a reason to desert you. That's how I learned to shut out the world and forget all the dumb
So
people.
I do appreciate how the opening synth line does stay in the mix as the song picks up.
Yes, just it's
Yeah.
it's still the
I don't know.
same
Like,
stuff.
I kind of feel like we are definitely in a rhythm. it was on this song that I went, okay, I'm very fatigued now. My ears are like, I'm hearing everything kind of the same. And that's unfortunate for what's coming up, but I feel like this would be a fun live track. The pre-chorus, I can fully imagine, the band continues playing and one of the singer tries to split the crowd for a wall of death for when that pre-chorus hits. Because I feel like the pre-chorus is meant for a pit, wall of death, something like that. But then the pre-chorus ends and the people are wondering why they were doing a wall of death because the song no longer requires that kind of aggression.
This one reminds me a little bit of, oh gosh, is it Runaway by Linkin Park? Yeah.
I have 233 is very Chester.
Yeah, so the bridge gets like full blast Linkin Park, and
they're parking all the Lincolns in that bridge.
You can't kill me no matter how hard you try. So turn around if you want to get out alive. You said I'd never make it, but look at me now. Set the fuck up. You can't stop.
which, hey man, if you've got that, yeah, because it's like, say goodbye. Never gonna say it. Golly, I can't think of the Linkin Park song now, but no, because you become a part of me. That one. It's whatever Linkin Park song that is. It's
okay.
It's not like a 1-for-1 lift, but it's so similar, and it's like. Again, steal from the best. I mean, that's obviously what you guys are shooting for. So, imitation's the fondest form of flattery, yada, yada, yada. It's just so on the nose, and that we've been doing it now for 10 songs. I'm starting to, like you said, the fatigue is starting to set in. This is another one where I'm just kind of like, I like how much it reminds me of Linkin Park.
Yeah. Okay. So I do like the scream in this song.
Yeah.
Already had to try. Now get it back in the line. Right now.
And 253 is a fun part. But at this point, I was so fatigued, I can't tell you what that fun part was.
It was kind of a heavy riff with some beepy boopy stuff. It kind of would have reminded you a little bit of a Linkin Park song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That cleared up for you.
I was trying to find something to compare it to, but thank you for filling me in there.
You're welcome. I got you.
Track 11, Until We Break, featuring Maddie Mullins. Now, I'm going to start this off by saying I appreciate that it's not featuring Memphis May Fire and then it's just Maddie. And it wouldn't be featuring Amber Lynn and then just Maddie because, as I understand it, Maddie Mullins is just the singer for on tour for Amber Lynn. So
I think Steven Richardson has stepped... Christensen, excuse me. I think he's done. I think he's I think I saw an interview not that long ago where he basically said, I got kids and a family and I'm done with it now.
So basically, I saw them on a tour where he said, we got the band back together. And then 2 years later, he's done. So he's coming together to.
I think so, because if I'm not mistaken, if you go to Amber Lynn on Spotify, both singers are in the picture. But I think they're getting ready to release a new record, and I think it's Maddie on vocals on the new album. I'm pretty sure, which is fine. I'm not the biggest Maddie Mullins fan. I think he's good. I think Steven has a much more distinct, unique voice, which, he will be missed. But because, we saw, I'm pretty sure we talked about it on the show, but we did go see them with Maddie on vocals. And I remember
20 years of tears. Yeah.
I was a little disappointed. I think Maddie's fine, but he's not Steven,
Well, according to Amber Lynn's Wikipedia, which I just went to, Steven Christian is still in the band.
Okay.
Maddie Mullins. Maddie Mullins is also listed in the band, but yeah, maybe it's that kind of thing. I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about this song.
Yeah.
I'm fatigued at this point, so I was kind of like, when I saw Maddie Mullins' name there, I was like, maybe he's going to bring something to it. Cool. I couldn't tell which was him.
I was going to say the same thing. I was like, what's the point? Dude does not stand out at all.
No, and that's really disappointing because I do like Maddie Mullins, but I feel like Maddie Mullins is a little bit full of Maddie Mullins, but, that's fine. We do get a break to kick things off where he actually says break real loud.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Yeah. And then it's the last word of the chorus, which that bothered me because it's like you use that word to really kick the song off, and then you end the chorus with it. Which I feel like to go heavier after the chorus would have been something to do there since they established that was what was going to kick things off in the beginning, but then they just don't.
This is another one that just like all of it just sounds like more of the same. Like it's so hard to like pick apart anything because it's just, I will say I do like at 2:18 where I'm not sure who it is, but they're going into a scream. So you hear them like charge up like Dragon Ball Z style where it's like, I like that. And then the part that it goes into, huge Korn vibes, more again, sort of like their most recent couple albums where it is a little more polished and not as like, clicky and high pitchy and stuff. But again, super low. I like all that. Like, that's cool. It's just the rest of the song is just like, it's so hard to differentiate because they all have the same things happening, Yeah.
The lyrics on this album, certain ones get me. And, I do like the breakdown on this song because I do like the breakdown was mighty.
Mm-hmm.
I could have done with different words. I don't know if it was before or after what, but the ashes to ashes, we all fall down.
So the fact yes. Okay. So I even have listed here, ashes to ashes is a choice when you have ashes in the name of your band.
Right.
Ashes to ashes, we all
I feel like that's, like saying the name of the movie in a movie. You just don't do it.
And especially then when you go into the Korn riff, because it's like, with shoots and ladders, it's kind of funny. But yeah, I just, it's just more the same.
I don't know. I did listen to this one like outside of the straight through listen, and it just kind of felt the same as everything else that was here. I do feel like these last couple, it's like, okay, we just kind of repeated the same things, and you brought in Maddie Mullins and didn't really do anything different with him. They didn't use Maddie.
Yeah, like to your point earlier about, is this an album or is it a collection of singles? This is another one of those, if I would have heard Legacy or Until We Break isolated and I wasn't listening to the rest of the album, that's the only song I heard, I probably would have been like, hey, that's pretty cool. It reminds me a little bit of Linkin Park and Korn, and moved on with my life. But because we're hearing it in between 6, 7, 8 other songs that are all kind of doing the same things, it's like, what else is there to say?
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about that last track here. Track 12, Broken by Design.
lost our purpose beneath the surface. We are all just seconds from the end. So was it worth it?
Now, this is your track.
Yes.
Okay. I have, the first note I have here is coming in hot with that synth.
So after everything we just said, about how all these songs are following the same beats and the same tropes. This one doesn't. And I was pleasantly surprised because I just knew in my heart of hearts that this was going to be the next ballad. Like this was going to be the anthemic swing at the rafters to end the album. And it's not. It's this weird amalgamation of like KMFDM and Stabbing Westward and like, yes, I'm very much into this song. I think this is one of the better songs on the album, and I think it's wild that they put this as the last song.
I have kind of coming off of what you just said, where this feels like a leftover they had some from somewhere else, and they had to find somewhere to put it. And I feel like that's why this doesn't feel like so many other things on this album, because it feels like it was written outside of the rest of the album. And they thought, oh, we really like this one here. We really like this song. Let's put it here as a closer. Let's close out this thing. I don't hate this one. Mm-hmm. I do like the melody in this song.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I said before, I am fatigued at this point. And I don't know. When I went and listened to this one independently, yes, I like this one better.
The way it starts, I was getting huge KMFDM vibes. And then whenever it like kicks in, and you've got the like high pitched synth with that like mid tempo riff. Instead of sounding like a Linkin Park lift, it reminded me of The Thing I Hate by Stabbing Westward. And I was like, okay, cool. That's like using the same ingredients, but you're changing the outcome of it. And I dig that. And I like the fact that it goes back to the dancey like rhythm for the verse.
We're in a breakdown without a way out.
They haven't done that at all on this entire album. They have not had a single song that has a kind of beat. And it was like, why is this the last song? Like, this shouldn't be the last song.
Okay, I just realized it. This album is a Taco Bell menu. It's the same ingredients put together differently, and this is the Crunchwrap Supreme.
Just wait till we get to my closing statement.
All right, so
you're closer than you think.
All right, so the bridge and the breakdown feel very stuck into this song. I don't feel like the bridge and the breakdown really added anything to the song, because the rest of the song actually was good. I liked the rest of what was there.
Damaged, defective, I'll tear on my...
And that's kind of a thing that is all throughout this album, where it's like they are doing something that I like, and then suddenly they're not doing something I like, or something, it's like they have to go back to the formula. And I don't know. I felt like this one was actually a decent song up until we got to that bridge and breakdown.
Okay, but see, the cool thing about this is, yes, we're going back to a breakdown, but because the verses and the chorus have been so beepy boopy, they sort of nix that for the bridge, and they just kind of let the instruments play. Eventually the synth does come back in, sort of to, connect it back to the front of the song. But I thought it was really cool that they sort of like, hey, this is the techno-y, dancey kind of song, so when we get to the bridge, we're going to drop that for a minute. So yeah, this one works, man. Like, this one really works for me. We talk about this on albums where the beginning of your album and the end of your album are very important when we're doing what we do, where we listen to these albums a lot. And this always was like, you know what? Maybe this wasn't so bad. And I kind of like forget the little like lull we had there for a couple of songs. It's like, oh man, this was fun. Cause even it didn't even mention this, but the chorus is like really anthemic and
that's true. We skipped right over the chorus.
It's not super catchy, but when it's happening, you really feel it, or at least I do.
Tear on a rise, it's easier than looking away. Say we're fine, breathing smoke as we burn in the flames.
That's fair. All right, Monster, let me ask you a question. What's new with you?
Hey, good looking. What you got? Cooking.
Boy, howdy there.
You want to throw a dart?
I was going to say, they think this whole album is, and I'm not so sure, but I would say the most kind of new for me would probably be Nightmare. Just because I think it has my favorite riff. I think that opening riff is really, really good. But yeah, I mean, any one of these songs is new to some degree. So
That's fair.
Danger Was Cooking.
And, I feel like going with probably my favorite song off the album, Hope You're Happy. Is probably the best choice here. To be honest with you, this wasn't a terrible album to cook to in general because it's largely ignorable, and that's fine. But I don't know. The Hope You're Happy was, I feel like it was a good track here, and I liked it cooking because it made me, it said, it's Hope You're Happy. I was happy. Okay. I was happy.
Good. I'm glad to hear.
All right. So, Take It Back Sunday. All within that. So anyway, okay. I don't really know where you are on this one because I felt like you were going to be much higher. And so I feel like you and I are actually probably going to be close to each other. So I don't know who's going to be higher. I have not changed my score much because I feel like my score is exactly where I need it to be.
I have a feeling I am going to be slightly higher, and I also have a feeling my closing statement's going to be slightly longer. So I will let you decide if you want to go first or if I should go first.
You know what? I'll go first. We're going to debate it off. This is probably my shortest closing statement.
Okay. Good,
my shortest closing statement was on, I think, 40 Below Summer, where I said, pick the long or short one.
Well, and I also think Kings of Leon was pretty short because we were ready to get out of there.
Yeah, that's fair.
But and mine might be one of the longest ones I've ever written, so we'll see.
Okay. I wanted to like this one more than I did. Blackout isn't offensively bad, but it's just very safe. It's a safe move all around. It's very calculated. It's designed to fit neatly into playlists next to bands like Linkin Park and Falling in Reverse. This is the newest new. I can't say that From Ashes to New is copying any one act, but I feel like they are using a lot of different acts. I feel like we should maybe create a new genre for this band. New hodgepodge. I don't hate any specific part, but I don't love any specific part either. And I wish that I felt one way about anything. This would have fit right into a Discman in a pair of Jinkos in 1998. But also at the same time, it would fit right into a pair of Jinkos in 2026. I just feel like I'm getting too old for this new generation of new. I gave this a 5.44.
Okay.
And Monster, give us your closing statement.
Okay. I love pizza. And my favorite toppings are usually meats. Pepperoni, bacon, sausage. I've even had pizza with shrimp on it before that I really liked. But a meat lover's pizza from Domino's versus Papa John's versus the locally owned little Italian spot downtown all have different flavors. They might be using the same ingredients, but they all taste different. If Corn and Limp Bizkit are the classic locally owned pizza joint that uses homemade sauce and unique toppings, From Ashes to New is the modern chain pizza stores. The sauce is tasty, but it's pre-made. The ingredients are what you'd expect, and it tastes really good, but you can tell the difference between its flavor and the locally owned shop. It's got all the same ingredients, the big riffs, the raps, the screams, but it also has massive layers of that modern production and fits in the same sonic landscape as so many other modern rock and metal bands out today. I enjoyed a lot of this album because it definitely fits in with what I enjoy listening to. But there was just a bit of a disconnect somewhere. I can't quite put my finger on it, but this album just never hooked me. I liked it, but I didn't love it. It's like Little Caesars pizza. It's quick, it's easy, it's filling, and it's affordable. It'll do in a pinch if you don't have time to get something more authentic. 1 to 10, I said 6.15. You had no idea how close you were with that Taco Bell analogy.
I thought you were actually going to talk about Taco Bell or Italian food, but you went pizza, which I guess is Italian food, so it's fine. And for the record, I like Little Caesars. I do
too. I do too. That's specifically why I mentioned them, because like when it comes to fast food pizza, I think Papa John's is probably my favorite. But as far as like flavor for price, you can't beat Little Caesars. I mean,
no, and we're not sponsored by Little Caesars, which if Little Caesars wants to, we'll take it.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. But Yeah, cheese. They got a cheese sauce pretzel crust.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
And their Italian crazy bread. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
Yeah. All right. Enough Little Caesars talk.
I'm hungry.
I'm going to get Little Caesars tomorrow now. Okay. Monster gave From Ashes to New Blackout a 6.15, and I gave it a 5.44, which gives it an overall average of 5.795, putting it into the 88th position, just above Dayseeker and just below Dance Gavin Dance.
Yes, definitely. More so with Dayseeker, I think. But yeah, I mean, I feel like all three of those bands work together.
Yeah. Maybe Dance Gavin Dance and Dayseeker being older would be like, hey, let's take these young whippersnappers out on the road.
Yeah, it'd be one of those bands that like plays first and they're like, oh shit, we got to go on after that.
Yeah. If you disagree with the score that we have given this album, then please shoot us an email at breakdownsbreakfast@gmail.com or head on over to one of our social media platforms, Facebook, X, or Instagram, and let us know what you thought about this episode, or if there's an album that you'd like for us to give the Breakdowns treatment to in the future.
And this, I'm glad I listened to this because after I saw them live, I never really went back and, followed up with where they were or what they've been doing. So I'm glad we did this, and I'm looking forward to. I know they've been releasing some new singles. They got a new album coming out, I think August this year. So I'm curious to see kind of where that goes. So, Danger, I've been thinking about it. I always ask you, what's cooking? You're the culinary guy, but I wanted to tell you, I too have been working very hard on my culinary art skills.
How?
I've gone from hashes to stews. I hate myself.